Pink balloons, soft music, laughter echoing in the decorated backyard. My daughter-in-law Lily's baby shower was supposed to be a celebration of life, hope, and new beginnings. Instead, it became the day my marriage died. Everyone gathered around the dessert table, clapping as Lily opened her gifts. My husband Daniel stood behind me, smiling gently like he always did at family events. And beside me was my best friend, my closest friend of 22 years, Harper. I trusted her with my secrets, my fears, my marriage struggles, my entire heart. She held my hand through miscarriages. She stayed at my house during holidays. She called me the sister I never had. But that day, she smiled at me with something I had never seen on her face before. Not kindness, not loyalty, triumph. When Lily finished opening her gifts, Harper tapped her glass with a fork. "Everyone, I have an announcement." People turned, smiling, expecting something sweet or funny. But Harper looked straight at me, her eyes glittering, and said, "I've been dating Daniel for a year, and we're finally ready to tell the truth." The world went silent. Someone dropped a plate. Lily gasped. My son froze mid-step holding a tray of cupcakes. Daniel didn't deny it. He didn't shake his head. He didn't look horrified. He lowered his gaze like a coward, and he didn't look at me once. Everyone turned to me, waiting for the explosion, the crying, the collapse. Instead, I just breathed in deeply, smiled gently, and said, "Thank you for the honesty." I reached into my purse, took out a sealed envelope, and placed it in Daniel's trembling hand. He opened it with the smug confidence of a man who thought betrayal had made him powerful. But the moment he read the first page, his face turned white, then red. Then he began screaming. Not shouting, screaming. People jumped. Lily covered her mouth. Even Harper stepped back, startled. If you've ever had someone betray you publicly, if someone has ever twisted your trust into a weapon against you, hit that like button. This story is yours. Drop your story in the comments. I read everyone. Now let me take you back. I'm Raina, and this is how I ended 2 betrayals with one quiet, devastating move. Intro who I am. My name is Raina Pierce, I'm 41, and I live in a quiet town called Maplebridge, a place where everybody knows everybody's business, except the truth. I work as a high school art teacher. The kind of person who spends her day helping teenagers express emotions they don't have words for yet. I've always been gentle, soft-spoken, observant, the friend who listens, the wife who compromises, the mother who holds everyone together. People mistake that softness for weakness. But here's the thing. Quiet women don't break easily. We bend. We adapt. We breathe through pain. And when we finally rise, we rise differently. My life before that baby shower wasn't perfect, but it was stable, comfortable, predictable. Or so I thought. Little did I know. 2 of the closest people in my life had been digging a grave beneath my feet for an entire year. And I was still decorating their birthdays. My best friend Harper. Harper Lane. My best friend for more than 2 decades. She was the extrovert to my introvert. The fire to my calm. The excitement to my stability. Everyone loved her, bright, bold, charismatic. She could walk into a room and pull all the oxygen into her orbit. I never minded. I loved her like a sister. If you had told me she would one day take my husband, I would have laughed. Because she was the one who held me when I miscarried at 27. She was the one who drove me to the ER when I had a panic attack at work. She was the one who helped plan my 15th wedding anniversary surprise for Daniel. She clapped the loudest at our vow renewal. She cried when we bought our first home. She called him brother. Harper wasn't just close to me. She was close to him too. But I thought it was safe closeness. Harper always said, "Raina, I choose you over any man. You're my forever friend." Turns out she chose my husband instead. My husband Daniel. Daniel Pierce. The man with a warm smile and steady hands. The man I believed would grow old with me. He wasn't loud or dramatic. He was calm, stable, logical. The kind of man who always held my hand at family gatherings. The kind who brought me tea when I cried over our struggles. The kind who kissed my forehead before work. But underneath all that softness was a man who needed admiration, validation, someone to tell him he was special, desirable, still youthful. And Harper? She fed that part of him beautifully. Where I gave him consistency, she gave him excitement. Where I offered comfort, she offered thrill. Where I provided a home, she provided an escape. But neither of them realized. Escapes collapse fast, especially the ones built on lies. The affair didn't start with a kiss. It started with a whisper, a seed, a flirt, a look, a shared joke, a hand lingering too long on an arm. Quiet women notice everything. We just pretend we don't until we're ready to act. So let me show you the cracks I ignored. Harper began calling Daniel late at night. When I asked why, she'd laugh. Relax, Ray. I needed a man's opinion on something stupid. But the something stupid became something important. Then something urgent. Then something private. I should have seen it. But Harper was my friend. And Daniel was my husband. Trust blinds us faster than love. I'd walk into a room and find them laughing, whispering, exchanging looks. When I asked what was funny, Daniel would say, "Nothing you'd understand." Harper would add, "It's just our dumb humor." But inside jokes become intimacy. Intimacy becomes secrets. Secrets become betrayal. Harper insisted on planning Lily's baby shower with Daniel. "Raina, you're busy. Let us handle it," she'd say. I thought she was being helpful. No, she was finding excuses to spend time with him. Unaudited time. Unmonitored time. Unseen time. Time where boundaries disappear. Harper started criticizing me subtly. "You're too soft, Raina. You're too trusting. You don't appreciate Daniel enough. He deserves someone who sees him." She was grooming the narrative, justifying her betrayal before she committed it. Daniel began echoing her words. "You never make me feel seen," he'd say out of nowhere. "You don't understand me like Harper does." The shift was quiet, but it was deadly. Daniel started working late. Harper started coming over less. But her perfume lingered. Her laughter echoed in corners of the house she hadn't been in for weeks. Then I saw it. A wine glass in the sink. My favorite brand of wine. The one Harper always brought. And neither of them were home when I found it. That was the moment. The click. The shift from denial to awareness. But I didn't confront them. Not yet. Quiet women don't strike early. We wait until the truth is undeniable. And the moment is unforgettable. At the baby shower, my best friend Harper proudly announced she'd been dating my husband Daniel for a year. Everyone expected me to collapse. But I smiled and handed Daniel an envelope. Before I placed that envelope in his hand, I spent months preparing it. Here is how I uncovered everything. Betrayal doesn't hit you like lightning at first. It whispers. It scratches. It flickers in the background. And then one day, the flicker becomes too bright to ignore. My shift happened the night I found 2 wine glasses in the sink. One of them stained with Harper's lipstick color. Harper hadn't visited in weeks. Daniel said he was working late. But lipstick doesn't lie. That night I understood 3 things. They thought I was blind. They believed they were smarter than me. They had no idea who they were playing with. Quiet women take longer to notice betrayal. But we take even longer to forget it. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I didn't confront them. I simply decided. If they wanted to lie, I would let them. But I would make sure they choked on the truth later. One morning, Daniel left for work in a rush and forgot his phone on the kitchen counter. I heard the vibration. A message preview popped up. "Last night was amazing. I miss you already, Red Heart. H. Not Harper. Not friend. Just H." My stomach tightened. I opened the phone. Yes, I know people say privacy matters. But betrayal destroys privacy first. What I found inside wasn't flirtation. It was a full-blown relationship. A message from Harper 30 minutes earlier. "Can't wait for the baby shower. It'll be the perfect moment." Perfect moment for what? My blood ran cold. But I didn't screenshot yet. Not until I checked his hidden photo folder. Inside it were pictures of Harper in my living room. A photo of them at a hotel. A mirror selfie where her hand wrapped around his waist. A picture of my necklace around Harper's neck. I didn't gasp. I didn't drop the phone. I just whispered, "So that's who you really are." Then I placed the phone back exactly where he left it. Quiet revenge requires patience. A week later, Daniel left his laptop open while showering. He never logged out of our joint account. I wasn't snooping. But when betrayal enters your home, you start seeing through walls. I clicked the recent transactions. My heart slowed, not raced. $247. Blossom Sweets. $89. Romantic Dinners to Go. $159. Jewel and Company. $312. Spa Radiance. $117. Wine Boutique. None of these were with me. Daniel used our money to build a fantasy life with another woman while sleeping in my bed. That's not love. That's theft with kisses. I downloaded the statements, saved them, printed them later. Evidence doesn't scream. It speaks quietly. Like me, best friends get comfortable. Too comfortable. Harper started making mistakes. She accidentally sent me a picture meant for Daniel. A picture of a hotel dinner setup. She quickly unsent it and messaged, "Oops. That was for another friend, haha." Another friend? She forgot I know every friend she has. And none of them have a boyfriend. I took a screenshot of her unsend attempt. Patterns matter later. She accidentally sent me a picture meant for Daniel. A picture of a hotel dinner setup. She quickly unsent it and messaged, "Oops. That was for another friend, haha." Another friend? She forgot I know every friend she has. And none of them have a boyfriend. I took a screenshot of her unsend attempt. Patterns matter later. People expose themselves when they think they're untouchable. Harper posted. If he wanted to, he would. Daniel posted. Found clarity this year. They both posted photos of the same wine brand, with the same background wall color. My wall color. I knew what they were doing, but I let them play. One afternoon, I found a receipt in Daniel's jacket. "Thank you for celebrating your anniversary with us. Blooming Rose Hotel." Anniversary. Our anniversary was in April. This receipt was from July. I turned it over. Harper had written, "Here's to many more." My hands tightened. Not with rage. With resolve. Quiet revenge is a seed. And this receipt watered it. My son Luke came home one night confused. "Mom, why did Dad and Aunt Harper take Lily out to lunch without you?" I blinked. "They did." "Yeah. Dad said it was a planning meeting. But Lily said they hardly talked about the baby shower." I nodded slowly. So they were including my daughter-in-law. To soften the blow. To normalize their betrayal. To shape the narrative that I was distant, cold, or prudish. Smart. But not smarter than me. The moment everything snapped into focus was when Harper said, "Raina, if anything ever happened between me and Daniel, promise you wouldn't hate me?" She was joking. But jokes reveal desires. I replied, "I'd never hate you. I'd just learn who you really are." She laughed nervously. I smiled. The planning of my envelope began that night. The envelope wasn't impulsive. It was intentional. Precise. Calculated. Clean. I gathered everything. Screenshots of messages. Photos from his hidden album. Bank transactions. Receipts. The hotel dinner photo. Harper's forbidden confession via Monica. Their matching wine posts. GPS logs. Home security camera footage. The hotel anniversary note. The missing necklace photo. Page by page I printed them. Organized them by date. Stapled them neatly. Highlighted the key phrases. On the first page I wrote, "You were never careful. I was never blind." The last page? A letter from my attorney confirming. Proof of infidelity. Proof of marital asset misuse. Proof I had already filed for divorce. Proof Daniel could lose the house. Proof I was legally protected. Proof that Harper helping him hide funds made her liable too. I placed it all inside a clean white envelope and sealed it with a calmness that only comes when you realize you're done being underestimated. The baby shower wasn't revenge. It was timing. Everyone was there. They planned to announce their relationship eventually. They wanted a dramatic moment. They wanted power. I wanted truth. Harper wanted to humiliate me publicly. Daniel wanted to declare freedom publicly. So I let them. Because betrayal thrives in shadows. But truth? Truth needs an audience. I slept peacefully. Not because I didn't hurt. I hurt deeply. but because I knew exactly what would happen next. I didn't need to confront them. I didn't need to scream. I didn't need rage. I only needed patience. And the next morning, I slipped the envelope into my purse, like a weapon made of silence. I gathered months of evidence. I built the envelope. I waited for the perfect moment. And at the baby shower, my daughter-in-law Lily glowing with joy surrounded by family and friends, that moment arrived. Harper, my best friend, tapped her fork on a glass and proudly announced she'd been dating my husband for a year. Daniel didn't deny it. I smiled. I handed him the envelope. Now let's continue from the moment he opened it. Daniel opened the envelope with the confidence of a man who believed he had won. He thought I was fragile. He thought I would crumble. He thought Harper would stand beside him as his new prize. He expected tears. He expected begging. He expected weakness. But as he scanned the first page, his face transformed into something unforgettable. Confusion, shock, fear, then pure uncontrollable panic. "What is this?" he muttered. Then louder, "What is this?" People froze. Even the baby stopped crying. Harper took a step closer. "Babe, what's wrong?" But Daniel wasn't hearing her anymore. He was flipping through page after page. Photos of them at hotels. Screenshots of their messages. The receipt with Harper's lipstick. The photo of her wearing my necklace. Bank statements of his spending. The hotel anniversary dinner. The confession Monica overheard. The GPS logs. And finally, the letter from my attorney confirming my divorce filing and financial claims. His breathing turned ragged. How did you? This is invasion of privacy." I calmly replied. "No, Daniel. This is accountability." Gasps rippled across the room. My son Luke stood frozen with a plate of cupcakes in his hands. Lily covered her mouth, tears forming. My sister whispered, "Oh my God. Harper." My mother stepped forward furious. "Daniel Pierce, you brought this to my grandchild's baby shower." Harper stiffened. "Mrs. Pierce, please." But my mother snapped. "Don't you dare speak to me." Harper shrank back. Daniel's hands were shaking violently as he stared at the evidence. You set me up," he said to me with venom. "No," I answered calmly. "You set yourself up. I just printed it." People turned to Harper, the woman who walked into the event smiling like she'd won. Now, she looked like a child caught stealing from church. "Raina, you're misunderstanding everything," she said with a trembling voice. "Oh." I raised an eyebrow. "Which part am I misunderstanding? The messages? The hotel receipts? The photo of you wearing my necklace? The year-long affair?" She swallowed. "I didn't want to hurt you. It just happened." The classic line of a woman who planned every step. "It just happened?" I repeated softly. "You tripped, fell, and landed in my husband's bed for 12 months? Someone snorted. Someone else muttered, 'Trash.'" Harper's cheeks burned. "You're turning everyone against me," she hissed. I smiled faintly. "No, Harper. You did that all by yourself. It wasn't supposed to be this way. The pink streamers. The diaper cakes. The gifts wrapped in balloons and ribbons. But betrayal doesn't wait for timing." My son finally set the cupcakes down and walked over. "Dad, what is all this?" Daniel wiped his forehead. "Luke, listen. Your mother is exaggerating." I stepped closer. "Read it for yourself." Luke took the papers from him. When he reached the photo of Harper and Daniel kissing in a hotel lobby, his face went pale. "Dad with her?" "With Aunt Harper." His voice cracked. Lily looked furious. "This was supposed to be our day." Harper whispered, "Lily, sweetheart." "Don't call me sweetheart." Lily snapped. The entire room erupted into whispers and outrage. Daniel pointed a shaking finger at Harper. "This is your fault. You told me she wouldn't find out." Harper gasped dramatically. "Me? You told me you weren't even intimate with your wife anymore." The crowd gasped. Daniel shouted, "You said she was boring. That she didn't appreciate me." I tilted my head. "Oh? Did she?" Harper's eyes widened. She realized she walked straight into the trap. Daniel threw the envelope on the table. "You ruined everything," he yelled at Harper. Harper shouted back, "You promised me you were leaving her." You said you wanted a fresh start. You said he was manipulating me, he screamed. I sighed peacefully. Ah, there it was. The downfall of betrayers. They always turn on each other faster than they turned on you. Then Daniel reached the last page. The letter from my divorce attorney. He went silent. Completely silent. His eyes scanned the legal consequences. Full financial accountability. Loss of marital home. Repayment of every cent spent on Harper. Legal fees. Emotional distress compensation. Potential investigation into hidden spending. Harper listed as someone who assisted in marital asset misuse. His face turned the shade of spoiled milk. You filed already? Yes, I said. 3 weeks ago. You're the villain here, he stuttered. People around us scoffed. Aunt Margaret said loudly, I've never seen a man dig his own grave with this much enthusiasm. A woman asked loudly, Harper, weren't you the one who gave Raina advice about saving her marriage? Harper broke. Literally. Her knees buckled. She fell into a chair. Her mascara streaked down her face. Raina, please, we can fix this, she whispered. I shook my head. I don't fix trash. I take it out. The room froze. Even I surprised myself with that line. But it felt right. My normally quiet father spoke. You two should leave. Right now. Both of you. Daniel tried to speak. Sir. Out, Dad said, pointing at the door. Lily began crying. Not for me, but for the stress on her baby shower. My son stood beside me, tears in his eyes. I'm so sorry, Mom, he whispered. I hugged him. You didn't do this, sweetheart. Harper stood up shakily. Raina, you're heartless. No, Harper. I'm healed. Daniel grabbed his keys and stormed out. Harper followed, crying hysterically. The room exhaled. A mix of shock, anger, and pity. But I felt something I hadn't felt in months. Relief. The next morning, Daniel sent me 14 messages. We need to talk. You didn't have to humiliate me. We can still fix this. Please don't ruin my life. Ruin his life? I simply revealed what he built. Then Harper messaged. You destroyed me. I hope you're happy. I responded. I didn't destroy you. You just finally saw yourself clearly. Everyone who once loved Harper turned against her. Screenshots spread. People unfollowed. Her job saw the drama. Her family was embarrassed. Her boyfriend before Daniel messaged me saying, You warned me about her. I should have listened. She isolated herself. She expected Daniel to comfort her. Instead, Daniel told her, You used me. This is your fault. And just like that, the two people who betrayed me were blaming each other instead of me. That's how real revenge works. Not by destroying them with your hands, but by letting them destroy themselves with the truth. The baby shower erupted in betrayal, truth, and public humiliation. Daniel and Harper fled in disgrace. My family stood with me. The envelope became the spark that set their carefully constructed lies on fire. Now comes the fall. Not loud, not violent, just inevitable. And then, a new beginning. Let's finish this story. Daniel didn't sleep. I knew that even before I checked my phone. He always looked composed in public, but this time his mask had shattered. At 6:13 a.m., he texted, We need to fix this. I made a mistake. At 7:02 a.m., Please talk to me. Don't do anything drastic. At 8:16 a.m., I can't lose everything because of one mistake. One mistake. A year-long affair. With my best friend. Using marital funds. In my home. I didn't respond. By noon he changed tactics. Your silence is abusive. I'll tell everyone you faked evidence. You're ruining my life. No, Daniel. You ruined your own life. I just stopped covering for you. Harper was quieter. Her first message came 48 hours later. Raina, please. I'm losing my mind. Everyone hates me. My boss saw the posts. My mom won't talk to me. I need you. Need me? She needed me when she was lonely. She needed me when she needed validation. She needed me while she was slipping into my marriage like it was a jacket she could steal. Her second message. Daniel says this is all my fault. He's blaming everything on me. Of course he was. Cheaters don't have loyalty. Not even to the people they cheat with. Her final message. I'm sorry. I know sorry isn't enough. But please, Raina, just tell me what to do. I replied simply. Leave me alone. I'm done rescuing people who hurt me. Harper never messaged again. A week after the baby shower, I received a call from Daniel's HR department. Mrs. Pierce, we're conducting a review regarding financial discrepancies tied to Mr. Pierce's expense reports. Interesting. I hadn't contacted them, but apparently the truth had a way of traveling. Daniel had filed several work travel reimbursements that matched the hotel charges he spent with Harper. Fraud, misuse of company funds, dishonesty on expense reports. His HR rep said, "We'll update you if this affects your divorce proceedings." 2 days later, Daniel called me sobbing. I've been suspended. They might fire me. Please tell them you didn't know. I didn't know, I said calmly. You did. He hung up on me. At mediation, Daniel sat across from me looking hollow. His lawyer kept whispering urgently, flipping through the evidence packet. My attorney, calm, collected, ruthless, laid everything out. Marital asset misuse, infidelity, concealing financial transactions, damage to emotional well-being, breach of trust, the hotel anniversary note, the necklace photo, the hidden album, the messages, the receipts. Daniel's lawyer finally said, "We cannot dispute any of this." The mediator looked at Daniel with pity. Mr. Pierce, given this overwhelming evidence, the court will heavily favor Mrs. Pierce. And then came the verdict. Raina keeps the house. Raina receives 80% of their savings. Daniel must repay all money spent on Harper. Daniel must continue supporting his adult son's baby fund. Raina receives compensation for emotional and financial damages. Daniel must pay both attorneys' legal fees. Daniel's jaw dropped. "You're destroying me," he whispered. I responded quietly. "I'm freeing myself." He slammed his hand on the table. "This isn't fair." I looked him in the eye. "Neither was what you did." Harper quickly realized the affair wasn't a love story. It was a transaction. Daniel blamed her for everything. He called her emotional, manipulative, unstable. He told his friends she seduced him. He told coworkers she was obsessed with him. She became what all mistresses eventually become in the eyes of the cheater. Disposable. She tried reaching out to mutual friends. None defended her. She tried posting cryptic quotes online. No one felt sorry. She lost her job. Not because of me, but because her personal drama spilled into her workplace. She moved back in with her parents. The woman who once smirked at me across a baby shower table now had none of the things she thought she gained. Not the husband. Not the reputation. Not the fantasy life. Nothing. 3 months later, Daniel asked to meet. I agreed, not for him but for closure. He looked older. Tired. Defeated. "Raina, I'm sorry," he said quietly. "I don't know what I was thinking. Harper just made me feel alive again." "Alive," I repeated. "You mistake chaos for life." He swallowed. "I miss you." I nodded. "You miss stability. You miss comfort. You miss being loved without consequence." He blinked hard. "Can we ever start over?" "No," I said softly but firmly. He exhaled shakily. "So that's it. That's it." He rubbed his face. "I've lost everything." "You lost yourself first," I said. "The rest followed." He stared at me for a long moment. "Do you hate me?" I shook my head. "No. That would take energy. You don't get my emotions anymore." His shoulders sagged. He whispered, "I didn't think you would ever fight back." I smiled gently. "I didn't fight, Daniel. I just stopped protecting you from your own choices." And with that I walked away. Not bitter. Not heartbroken. Free. Months passed. I created a life that finally felt like mine. I redesigned my home the way I wanted. I filled my art studio with light and color. I started a women's storytelling circle. I spent mornings on my porch, coffee in hand, peace in heart. I traveled alone for the first time and loved every second. My students said I seemed brighter, happier, lighter. I reconnected with myself. A version of me I had buried beneath loyalty and compromise. And for the first time in a long time, I wasn't waiting for someone else to choose me. I chose myself. One afternoon in early autumn, I ran into Harper at the grocery store. Her hair was unkempt, her clothes wrinkled, her eyes tired. She looked like a ghost of the woman she once paraded herself as. She froze when she saw me. "Raina," she whispered. I waited. "You won," she said. I shook my head. "No, Harper. This wasn't about winning. It was about ending something that was killing me." Her voice trembled. "I lost everyone." I replied softly. "You lost yourself." The rest followed. She nodded, tears forming. I walked past her calmly, not because I hated her, because she was no longer part of my story. If someone you loved ever betrayed you, if your best friend hurt you, if a partner lied to your face, if you were replaced, erased, underestimated, this story is for you. Quiet people are not weak. Kind people are not blind. Patient people are not fools. We just wait, deserve, and rise stronger than the people who tried to break us. Your peace is your power. Your healing is your revenge. Your future is brighter than the betrayal behind you. Drop your story in the comments. Like and subscribe for more stories of quiet justice, emotional strength, and reclaiming your life. This is Revenge with Raina, and this was my story.